Gameplay is more important than story, says Eiji Aounma, and he's been doing the rounds recently conducting a bunch of interviews looking back at the development of Echoes of Wisdom. So we've had some interesting information come out related to how Nintendo thinks about Zelda games, including prioritising gameplay over story, how Link nearly talked in Echo of Wisdom until Nintendo changed their minds, plus also we got some thoughts from the Zelda development team behind the UI and the menus in Echoes of Wisdom. Well, if you like the video, then subscribe for more Zelda content and turn on notifications to never miss an update. Well, first of all, we've got gameplay is more important than story. So Eiji Aounma said in an interview with the Washington Post recently, he always focuses on gameplay before the story, saying, "I never really made a game where you think of the story first." And he went on to say that stories always emerge after the gameplay has been established, and why he thinks doing it the other way around would be quote-unquote difficult. Well, Aounma says that Nintendo goes against the grain with its games and focuses on gameplay before starting on the story. Well, I've never really made a game where you think of the story first and then go into the gameplay. First, when you think of the gameplay, and what you're trying to think of after that is how you can get the players to understand that gameplay. Well, according to Aounma, this approach helps the developers improve upon their games easily as no restrictions are set in place by a predetermined narrative. The gameplay helps shape the story rather than the other way round. The story becomes used as a vessel because it has a beginning and an end and the player moves through it, says Aounma. And Aounma says it's pretty unique to how Nintendo developers make their games, but he'd rather not have it any other way. In fact, Eiji Aounma said he find it pretty difficult doing it the other way round, starting with the narrative and then moving on to gameplay. I think this would actually be kind of difficult to do the reverse and start with the story and then try to match the gameplay mechanics to that. It's pretty hard to argue with his approach. Many Zelda games appear in the top 100 games of all time, with titles like A Link to the Past, Ocarina of Time and Breath of the Wild consistently featuring on best game lists. However, given the lively discussion around the Zelda timeline, you can see the impact that this has on audiences' perception of the story elements in the Legend of Zelda series. Well, next up we got Link nearly talked in Echoes of Wisdom, so Nintendo nearly had Link talking in the recently released Echoes of Wisdom, but ultimately decided against it because it felt wrong. Eiji Aounma and Echoes of Wisdom director Satoshi Terada were talking to Famitsu recently, and they explained on how they nearly broke a long-running tradition in Zelda games by having Link explain how things work to Princess Zelda. In the Zelda series, the protagonist does not speak, Aounma says. This is why Link doesn't talk either, but with the role of Zelda supporting Link reversed in Echoes of Wisdom, now it fell on Link's shoulders to guide Zelda along. Nintendo therefore gave Link a voice for the first time after nearly 4 decades of Zelda games, and they went on to say, "We made Link talk for a bit at first, but it felt really wrong. We just kept thinking he would never say that." Well, then Terada expanded, "Whatever we tried to make him say, it just didn't feel right. No one knew the answer to the question, what would Link say? And of course, we wouldn't, he's never spoken before. And because of that, we needed a setting where he couldn't talk, and that led to the part of the game line story being formed." Well, Link not talking is fine for a video game, but all this is going to change with the upcoming Legend of Zelda movie, where he has to talk in that. And that's going to be a really interesting choice and dilemma for Nintendo, who clearly care dearly about Link and what he might have to say. Now, details on the movie are very slim. We know it's releasing before the end of the decade, although we don't have any further information including casting or story details. Well, next up we got a little bit more information on the Echoes of Wisdom menu system. So Echoes of Wisdom is pretty well received by Zelda fans overall, and Nintendo fans even more broadly. However, there's one piece of feedback that is consistent, and that is the challenges surrounding the menus and the UI. Selecting an echo from a long list can be frustrating. The developers of Echoes of Wisdom recently sat down with the BBC to talk about the game and specifically the UI challenges. Now, by the end of the game you can gather up to 127 echoes, then the main method of selecting the echoes is scrolling a long list after pressing the right on the D-pad, and that can get frustrating after a while. Yes, you can filter by used and newest, but lots of feedback has come Nintendo's way related to selecting echoes. One of the essences of the game is being able to figure out different ways of using each of these echoes, and so, in a sense, we wanted players to fall upon and see the echoes that they may not have noticed or have been using while they're sorting through all the echoes that they have, Terada said. Well, Nintendo may have acknowledged the feedback there, but I don't think they did a very good job of explaining. It sounds like they understand fans' frustrations, but they're trying to get players and fans to look on the positive side of a UI that clearly needs major work. Even Eiji Aounma admitted it took him some time to get used to the systems in the game. He played through the game 8 times before release, and it took him a whole playthrough to get used to the UI. Now, I don't want to be too critical of Eiji Aounma given the great work and hours of joy he's given the world through the Legend of Zelda series, but I would say if it takes a whole playthrough to get used to a UI system, it's probably not a great UI, and it definitely needs improving. While I probably will play Echoes of Wisdom again sometime, regular fans or Zelda fans, they're not going to be playing through multiple times, and ideally the UI shouldn't be a battle, and it's a consistent piece of feedback from fans and non-Zelda fans alike. Nintendo had similar challenges with Tears of the Kingdom, with a cumbersome system to select materials to fuse weapons with, and it doesn't look like they learned any of the lessons from Tears of the Kingdom, even though I'll give them a pass because it's different teams who worked on those different games. Well, let me know what you think in the comments, and let me know what you think specifically about gameplay being prioritised above this story, and let me know what you think about that. Well, that is it for this video today, looking at the gameplay, also Link nearly talking, and finally Echoes of Wisdom's menu system. Loads of really good details come out in recent interviews, and I hope you enjoyed the video today. So, as always, thank you so much for watching or for listening. Don't forget you can hit that subscribe button down below for even more Zelda content here on Triforce Times, and you can also like the video and share the video too. That would help me out here on the channel. Well, thanks again. I'll see you very soon. Well, this video is brought to you by Triforce Times Backstage. This is available through Patreon or YouTube membership, and you're going to get exclusive benefits, plus you'll be able to go above and beyond to support Triforce Times. Free content is core to Triforce Times, and you can continue to enjoy these videos that you know and love. However, if you want to enjoy the benefits like early access, our community Discord, shoutouts in the credits of videos, content polls and exclusive videos, then select the tier that is right for you and join Triforce Times Backstage today. So help me make Triforce Times be even bigger and better, plus you're going to get some added benefits for a small fee every month. Well, thank you for listening, and now it is time to go back to the video.